Hey, it's Joshua. One of the things I forgot to mention that I brought with me is my friend Kevin, who's holding the camera. He is an expert on pottery. So he found this clay bank earlier, and we're going to gather some clay and make some pottery from it. We'll show you that process as we go along, so stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Kevin, and I'm going to be digging some clay out of this stream bank right here. Well, I've dug a bucket full of this clay, and a lot of clay you can use just out of the ground. It has no impurities in it, or very few. And when I was messing with this stuff the other day, this one's got a few sticks in it and some little stones. So I gathered it dry, and where it's dry and crumbly, and I'm going to kind of smash it up with this rock a little bit, and any of the bigger stones and sticks that I see I'm just going to pick out. And then I'm going to mix it with water and use this big rock as a wedging table and mix it all up, and that's going to take a while.
So we'll come back.
What I'm doing here is wedging the clay. We powdered it up, grinded it with a rock to kind of crush the particles a little bit, makes it absorb water a little more readily. So we mixed it with water, and now I'm working with this first lump, and I'm just wedging it, trying to roll it around, mix it evenly so that the clay is all mixed up, all the particles are wet, and it'll get it into a more useful, workable state. Is this branch in your way?
No, it's fine.
You sure?
I'm sure. You're wrong.
Okay, we've got the clay wedged up into a pretty good lump. And right here, I want to take a minute to explain about clay. There's a simple field test that you can do when you think you've got clay. Just a simple method to show you whether the clay is going to be usable or not. You get some of it, and you mix it with water, and you work it up real good, and you roll it out into a little pencil-sized thing, like that. And if the clay is good, you'll be able to tie it in a knot, like that. If it's not good clay, it'll crack and break. But we've worked this up pretty well, and it's got a lot of water mixed into it, and it's pretty good plastic clay. I think this is going to turn out something good. This is a brown colored clay, but when we fire it, it should fire out a light tan color, a buff color. And what I've got here, a couple clamshells that I found down by the pond, and I'm going to put some water in here. And mix in a little bit of this and make some really soupy wet clay, and this is going to act as a slip or a glue to join two pieces of clay together. Alright, we started making a coil pot, and we're going to make a cone-shaped cooking pot upside down. And most people will tell you to roll out coils of clay this size. I say don't. I say start with something bigger. It's just easier. So we started with our first coil of clay, about 1 inch in diameter and long enough to go around in a circle, and that's just one piece. And we got a second one here. And what I've done to add the second ring is I've rolled out one long coil of clay. You notice how much thicker it is. Alright? This just takes too long. And to join the two pieces, I've scratched the surface of this one here like this, and that gives it like a physical way to grip between the first and second rolls of clay. Alright? Then we're going to take some of our clay slip, which is acts as a glue, and we're just going to put it on here and smear it around a little bit. Try to be as neat as you can, and then we'll join the second coil onto the first one. A lot of times you try to join two pieces of clay and they're too dry and they really won't stick together. So here we'll just add this one on here like this, kind of pinching it on as I go, and end up right there. I try to overlap the joints, like here's the joint between the first one and the second one. Kind of stagger them a little bit. There's the second coil. Now I'm going to go around and kind of pinch this in like so. Try to pinch it in with my thumb. And this just makes a better bond. Alright, we'll worry about smoothing it all out as we go along. There's the second roll. Well, we're back, and as you can see, I've used larger size coils. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 coils to build this decent sized cooking pot. That'll hold probably 2 or 3 quarts when it's done. The bigger, fatter coils builds up the wall size faster. That's all I can say about using thicker coils. And go round and round in it, and I'm about to put on the bottom, and then I'm going to add 3 feet to it. So it'll set up right on a little tripod when I get done. Hi, we're back. We dug some clay. We made some stuff out of it. We let it dry for a day or two, and now we built this little rock circle. It's basically a cylinder and an above ground pit, and I built a big fire out of it with oak, which cools down pretty good, holds the heat, and put some wet green sticks over the top of it. Now I'm drying the pottery slowly over it. You can see the steam coming off of them, and after a while they'll be ready to go down in the coals, but it's going to go real slow at this point. We'll just keep them up here and over the heat and let them dry out real good until they're ready to take direct fire. Well, we're back. When you saw us last, we were drying the pottery on top of the fire, and that took a long time, almost most of the day. Once they were able to take direct flames, I put them down in there, and now we're just pouring the coal on and burning them just as hot as we can burn them. My intent is to fill this circle with coals and ashes and completely cover the pots and burn them just as hot as I can burn them, and then let it cool off overnight until it's completely cold, and you can see the results of it then.
I'm back. This is Joshua Hamlin. We fired these yesterday. Today it's almost dusk, and I'm coming to check on them. Before we do, I want to warn you that there's always a high percentage of failure. If we're lucky, some of them won't fail. That top one I see some cracks in, but that clay is right out of the bank here. Most of it's untempered, so this is basically an experiment. So we're going to pull these out and see how many of them survived the firing. Unfortunately, Kevin can't be here. We're so grateful to him for coming out and doing this video with us and staying with us for this week out in the wilderness. That was really cool of him, but he had to get back to Missouri. So, I'm doing this part of the video alone. I'm filming myself, so sorry about the camera work. Anyway, this is the pot Kevin made. Oh, that's some beautiful color. That one held out for the most part. It's got a couple cracks on the side, but that's inevitable. That's a success. Here's the pot I made. That's a failure. Some sides blown out on it. This one is a success. Set it over here. That's another one that Kevin made. Oh no, this is the other one that I made, and it's a failure. That is a success. We'll put the failures over here and the successes over here. That one turned out nice. That's a success. That's still hot. Probably shouldn't be pulling it out of here if it's hot. Here's a beauty that Kevin made. It's still hot. I'm gonna leave it there because of its... that's a failure. And I think that's it. Whew, that's too hot. That's too hot to touch, so I shouldn't be removing it. It's been over 24 hours since this fires. Well, not over 24 hours, but it's been a long time. I mean, it's dusk now of the next day. We fired these yesterday all day, and that's still hot. So, well, we've got a couple good successes out of here. This is a nice one. This is a nice one. It's got a crack in the side of it, but that's not a big deal. This is a nice one. I don't know if I had the camera pointing in the right direction. It's got some cracks on the inside, but they don't go all the way through. I'm going to cover that back up with ashes so it dries slowly, so it cools slowly. So, all in all, we've had a pretty successful firing. We had a couple breaks, 3 breaks, 4 successes. Not bad, and that's right out of the creek bank over here. I love the way it turned so orange like that. It was just brown when we pulled it out. It wasn't that pretty. But yeah, that's how you do primitive pottery. There's things you can do. You can add temper. All these pots that are broken, I will crush them up into powder and add them to the next pots. Now, they'll never return to clay, but that will make good temper. Gunshots, it's hunting season. So we can grind that up to almost like the consistency of sand, or maybe a little bigger, and it will make good temper. That temper helps the pots not crack when they're fired. It makes it porous, so pretty much a success. We got 4 there that are good, 1 that's still hot, so we're going to leave it in there and pull it out later, but that's a successful one, and that's probably the most beautiful one. This big one, the one that Kevin made, that has a couple cracks in the side of it, it's just awesome. Look at that. I mean, that is awesome. My frying pan one didn't survive, unfortunately. It was a little bit above the coal line, so I had bad doubts about it. But that's, you know, that's a pretty good ratio of success to failure. I mean, you always lose some, usually doing primitive pottery. But that's a pretty good success rate. Oh, there's another one in here. This is I mean, this was just a little experimental piece, but it's a success. There's not even a crack in it. This is the one that Robert Allen made. He was just testing it out. This clay is on his property, so he wanted to test it out. Not even a crack in that, so there's another success. Basically, this was a successful firing. I'm pretty pleased about it because this clay is readily available. Thanks for watching.